physical and symbolic capital by examining stratification from a functionalist and conflict perspectives, identifying characteristics of the systems of stratification, and suggest ways to address global inequalities. Functionalist perspective views social stratification as necessary and beneficial for society. It argues that stratification motivates individuals to work hard and achieve, ensures the most talented and capable individuals hold positions of power, maintains social order and stability. For example, Davis and Morse in 1945 theory of stratification, which posits that social rewards are distributed according to the importance of role and the scarcity of qualified individuals. The conflict perspective sees social stratification as a result of power struggles and conflict between groups, argues that stratification perpetuates inequality and exploitation, maintains the power and privilege of dominant groups, creates social and economic barriers for marginalized groups. For example, Karl Marx in 1867 theory of class struggle, which argues that capitalism creates inequality and exploitation. Characteristics of system of stratification as caste system is a rigid birth-based system of stratification. It is characterized by endogamy, marriage within one's own group, hierarchical ranking of castes, limited social mobility. A class system is a more fluid, economically based system of stratification, which is characterized by social mobility based on individual achievement, hierarchical ranking of classes based on wealth and income, inequality and exploitation of lower classes by upper classes. The estate system is a system of stratification based on birth and occupation. It is characterized by hierarchical ranking of estates. Example of this is nobility, clergy, and commoners. Limited social mobility, privilege and obligations attached to each estate. Addressing global inequalities. Economic strategies. Number 1 is progressive taxation. Implement tax policies that redistribute wealth from the rich to the poor. Second is social welfare programs. Establish programs that provide essential services like healthcare, education, and unemployment benefits. Third is microfinance and entrepreneurship. Support small businesses and entrepreneurs in developing countries. Social and cultural strategies. First is education and awareness. Promote education and awareness about social and economic inequalities. Second is cultural exchange programs. Establish programs that facilitate cultural exchange and understanding between different societies. Third is human rights advocacy. It supports organizations that advocate for human rights and social justice. Political strategies of this are: number 1, democratization and good governance. Promote democratic values, transparency, and accountability in governments. Second is international cooperation and agreements. Establish international agreements and cooperation to address global inequalities. And the last is social movement mobilization. It supports social movements that advocate for social and economic justices. By addressing global inequalities through a combination of economic, social, cultural, and political strategies, we can work towards creating a more just and equitable world.
Today, I am going to talk about a crucial issue affecting our society, the gender equality. Gender equality remains a significant issue in the Philippines. Despite progress in recent years, while the country ranks globally in the gender gap, it has dropped a place since last year, primarily due to the lower representation in government. The World Bank reports that the Filipino woman earns 76 cents for every dollar earned by men, indicating a persistent pay gap. Additionally, women are more likely to work in the informal sector and lower paying occupation. The Philippines also faces related to domestic violence, child marriage, and limited access to reproductive health service. Despite these challenges, the government has implemented policies like Magna Carta of Women to promote gender equality and empowerment women. However, effective implementation and enforcement remain crucial to achieve true equality. So, dili hadlang ang kasarian para sa tagumpay kundi ang discrimination. So we should not compare the two, babae man o lalaki. We have the rights, and let's help each other to stand out and become successful for ourselves and for our country. Thank you.
Ang report na ko karon ma'am is about ethnic minorities. So unsa day ang nasa ethnic minorities? So ang ethnic minorities ay mga pangkat ng mga tao na may iba't ibang kultura, wika o relihiyon kaysa sa mga dominanteng pangkat sa isang lipunan. Kadalasan sila ay nakakaranas ng diskriminasyon at hindi pagkapantay-pantay na pagtrato dahil sa kanilang pagkakaiba. So unang example sa ethnic minorities is ang diskriminasyon. So dili jud mawala ang diskriminasyon sa ethnic minorities. Tungod ginadiscriminate nila ang wika or kultura o relihiyon, like for example ang mga lumad, Muslim or mga ata o mga badyaw like mga igorot ana. Sunod ang kawalan ng pag-assist sa edukasyon o serbisyo. Walay assist sa mga gobyerno sa edukasyon or like sa mga mga program gani nga pangkalusugan, like kanang maghatag sila bugas ana, wala na sila na walay assist ang gobyerno ana. Sunod ang pagkawala ng lupain at karapatan. So walay nawala ng mga, like for example nawala ng karapatan ang igorot na sa kanilang lupain dahil sa pagpatupad ng proyekto ng mga gobyerno. So, wala na sila karapatan no kay. So like for example ang proyekto sa gobyerno is gipalit ng isa kayo dito nga lupain sa mga igorot. So wala na sila karapatan nga kwaon to or mag freedom of speech pa sila dito. Wala na sila karapatan kaya nakapangalan na to sa gobyerno. Kumbaga ilang project ba. Sunod ang mga pananakop at kolonisasyon. So kasaysayan ng pananakop at kolonisasyon ng mga bansa ay nagdudulot ng mga hindi pantay na pag-unawa ng mga pagkakaiba ng etniko. So ako naman no kanang nagdudulot ng hindi pantay-pantay kanang mga pananakop. Pura ginasakop sila ba kay tungod wala sila kakayahan nga musukol, wala sila kakayahan nga muistorya kay tungod kusog gayo ang power of government mo nang ginaingon nga dili ta mag people's power.
I will discuss the importance of supporting and advocating of persons with disabilities. So first is accessibility initiatives. This refers to implementing programs and infrastructure changes that promote accessibility and inclusivity. Examples include wheelchair ramps, accessible public transport, and assistive technology that helps persons with disabilities navigate daily life more easily. So kasabot na ni ma'am is nag-refer siya na dapat ang mga disability na mga person like mga pungkol or etc. dapat na-adjust sila yung mga like wheelchair, then accessible sila sa mga transport and sa mga technology. So second is education and awareness. Raising awareness about the experiences and challenges faced by the persons with disabilities is crucial for fostering understanding and empathy. Schools, workplaces, and communities should promote exclusive education and training programs to ensure that people are informed and respectful of the needs of disabled individuals. So, based ni ma'am is kinanglan ang katong person nga na ay mga disabilities is dapat napod sila kanang educate dapat napod sila schools nga dapat ma-training sila na para mapagawas nila ilang mga tinatag sa mami pero dapat napod sila dapat i-respect yapon nato sila despite nga na sila mga ipang kuan silang mga sarili, so need na to i-respect yapon ang matag-isa. So third is policy reforms. Advocating for laws and policies that promote equal rights and opportunities for persons with disabilities is essential. So pasabot na ni mami gina-advocate yapon nato sa atong law na dapat sa isa ka tao nga na disabilities is pantay yapon siya, naagyapan siya opportunities. Then this includes ensuring non-discrimination in employment, education, and public services, as well as enforcing policies that protect their rights. So kinahanglan yapon na kay di na to sila i-discriminate and sa asa man nga lugar, sa public man or sa ilang itrabahuan man. So kinahanglan yapon na to sila respetohon, then protektahan na to ilang mga rights. Then ang conclusion ako ni ma'am is these points are emphasized that need for society to be more exclusive and supportive of people with disabilities by removing barriers and ensuring they have equal opportunities in all aspects. So kinahanglan niyo po naman kung unsa man like sa tuwa ma'am nga buo pa ta wala tay mga ipang bati, then sa ila is na sila gibati nga like kanang naga wheelchair na karon, then naga basta kuan ma'am kang nanay pang bati ma'am, so dapat equal ta tanan.
Global inequality, relationship between state and non-state actors. Number 1, international cooperation. This strategy emphasizes the importance of collaborative efforts between nations. By working together, countries can create international agreements and initiatives designed to reduce global inequalities and foster sustainable development. Number 2, corporate social responsibility. This approach highlights the role of corporations in promoting equality and sustainability. It suggests that businesses should adopt ethical and socially responsible practices that benefit society, not just their profits. This could include fair labor practices, environmental protection, and community investment. Number 3, global governance reforms. This strategy advocates for change in the way global governance systems operate. The goal is to create more accountable, transparent, and equitable structures that better address global changes and promote fairness and international relations. So, ang tatlong strategies na to ay international cooperation, corporate social responsibility, at global governance reforms. Ay parang iba-iba pero magkakasama talaga sa pag-address ng global inequality at sustainable development. Parang nagpapakita sila ng roles ng mga bansa, corporations, and international systems.